Hi, welcome to Irregular Magazine. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at a couple of buildings sent to me by Tabletop Workshop. They are hard plastic, 28mm. So in the review package sent to me by Tabletop Workshop, they sent me some buildings. Which are 28mm hard plastic, like I said before. They are designed for the medieval period, but obviously they can be used in later periods as well. For instance, the townhouse or merchant's house, sorry, that could easily be fitted into a more modern game, and that would be probably a museum in a modern game. Very much like if you go around the UK, there are plenty of these sort of period houses that are in the middle of cities or towns, and that are now museums you can go and visit. Now, Tabletop Workshop don't just do 28mm, they also do 6mm and 12mm buildings. They also do a castle construction sort of kit. You can purchase either round or square towers, and you can build up an entire castle. Now, I think you can purchase an entire castle in one hit, or you can buy it in modular parts and build and design to your own design. The 6mm and 12mm is a pretty good range. And in the 28mm, there are several other buildings available. One, for instance, is a chapel. But for today's video, we've just got the two, which is the merchant's house and the cottage. So without further ado, we're just going to have a look through those two buildings, and then I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. So we have two buildings, the merchant's house and the cottage, come in nice sturdy boxes. These are pretty easy to put together. We'll take a look at the cottage to begin with. Let's take that box off. Now, unlike other plastic kits that are not on a sprue, these are pretty solid hard plastic pieces that are really easy to put together. So we have our floor, we have our two sides, and then we have our two end pieces, which I've just dropped. And you see they're detailed on both sides. And then we have our two roof pieces. Now, when I say these clip together, it's as easy as that. You could probably get away with not gluing these. Just get the right size on the right, and then all that they just slot on the end. When I say they're easy to put together, I meant they are really easy to put together. So you could glue these together, or you could literally just clip them, take them apart, and store them flat. Now, if you're going to do that, once painted, I would make sure you've given them a good solid coating of varnish, because obviously pulling that apart, taking it apart, putting it back together again, is over time is going to wear the paint will wear and sort of damage the paint over time. But yeah, I mean, that is a really easy kit to put together, and it's a solid kit. I mean, the plastic pieces are quite chunky, so you know, they're not going to bend or break easily. So that is the cottage, and that'll suit most medieval periods. You could probably go into the pike and shot period with that one quite easily. Beyond that, I'm not so sure you'll be able to get away with that beyond pike and shot, early pike and shot, so beyond the English Civil War. So, a merchant's house is obviously, as we can see from the picture, slightly bigger. And so we've got 2 floors. So we've got one of our end pieces. Again, there's detailing on both sides. We've got our stone floor. We've got one of our sides. So that's the bottom half and the top half. Again, we've got another top and bottom. We've got the floor for the second story. And then again, we have our other end. And then we have our roof. Again, well-made, solid plastic kits. These aren't going to damage very easily. Again, it's really easy to put together. You just slot them in like so. And then you attach the end pieces and then drop the flooring in afterwards. So you could glue this together, and obviously not glue the roof to the building, so you can get in and mess about on the second floor if you want. So I'm really quite impressed with these kits. I mean, they are really quite solid pieces of plastic. Going out nice and chunky, and they're not going to break that easily. So, like it says on the box, these are for collectors, modelers, and gamers. They're ideal for wargaming because they are a nice, solid, chunky kit, and which means they're going to take a bit of wear and tear because, you know, taking it on off table, moving about, things just inadvertently just get slightly damaged. These are going to take that. They're quite really robust. Anyway, my final thoughts. So, like I said, these are really nice kits. They're really well made, strong, sturdy plastic. They're not going to break easily. They're going to take the wear and tear of wargaming, and they have Tabletop Workshop have a good range of buildings. Now, one of the ones I want to pick up next is the chapel, and I may pick up 1 or 2 of the towers as well, or even the gatehouse, and so I can put a little sort of town type setup for a few some games. Now, like I said, the merchant's house will work across quite a few periods. Things like the chapel and obviously the castle and stuff like that will also work across quite a few periods. Things like the cottage is got a sell by date, so to speak. It will only work up to a certain period in UK history anyway. And so I don't think you could take it beyond English Civil War before it kind of sits out of place, because buildings would have changed significantly beyond that period. But yeah, it's a good range of kits. And like I said, I really like the fact that they're good, solid plastic. They're not, as I would call, flimsy plastic. Other kits are flimsier in comparison to this. These will take quite a bit of bashing. So if you've got kids and you're looking to put for terrain, robust terrain, to play with the kids, these are perfect. These are perfect. The kids can even put. I mean, they're not difficult to put together. They can put them together themselves. They don't need to use. You could put them together without glue. They clip together quite firm and solid. So they're ideal for introducing kids to scenery and terrain making. And you know, if you're introducing your kids to wargaming, these work great for them because they're really solid and robust. I keep saying solid and robust, but they are really well made pieces of plastic. They're not going to break in small hands like some kit, terrain and scenery kits will, because they're not as solid plastic as these kits are. So yeah, so if you've got kids, these are ideal. They're not going to break them that easily, and they can put them together themselves. And so, you know, you can, if you want to get kids building, painting scenery, these are good kits to introduce them to. For everyone else, I think these are really nice. They're well made, they're really sturdy, they're perfect for wargaming, and they'll take the wear and tear, especially if you're taking them from club to house to your friend's house and stuff like that. These are going to stand up to that sort of wear and tear and being transported about, unlike some other kits that you kind of will need to delicately wrap in foam or bubble wrap or something like that so they don't get damaged. These won't. They're really quite chunky, robust. God, I'm going to turn this video into a drinking game every time I say robust now. Anyway, that's all for this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.